Steve, what do you consume on a day-to-day basis in terms of content and along with that, how do you keep yourself in this mindset and this evolving journey in a world with so much noise and so many distractions? I'm reminded of your lyric, I don't care about crooked politicians. I don't want to see someone bleeding while I'm eating. I mean,
Yeah.
do you avoid news? Do you avoid social media?
Well, for my whole life, up until the pandemic, I avoided news. I just never watched it. Every time I turn it on, I thought it was a joke. I thought, why, if you have this platform, all you're going to talk about is these miserable things that are happening. Fear. It's all fear. And I recognize that. And when it came to politics, well, in school, I was terrible at history. I never, I failed constantly. I had no interest in even when I look into the past. I'm not very good at chronological things. Like this happened then and that happened then.
Right.
And especially history was just like insane to me because all that we know about history is what we read, and all that we read is who wrote it, CNN or Fox. I
Or the
mean, because
winners of the battle.
yeah, that was going on back then too. So for me, all bets are off on trying to find any uh, reality. And plus, politics takes up this much of your life unless you give it your attention. And the one thing about politics that I can say is, in reality, they have no power over you unless you give it your power. And giving politics your power, uh, it can be seen if you, or anything in general, if you find yourself attacking somebody else. And when I say attack, I mean your thoughts. If do you find yourself criticizing, attacking, demeaning another person based on their political affiliation? Are you creating an identity for them in your own mind? Because if you are, you've given your power away. You,
Mm.
you, you just give your power away to politics.
Exactly.
So taking your power back is the recognition that everybody has a perspective, and it's fine. For the most part, we all want the same thing. We just have different ideas of how to get it. And
Exactly.
yeah, and so I never really could pay much attention to it. But during the pandemic, like many citizens, I just wanted to know what's going on. What do I do? Do I wear a mask? What's going on? So I started looking at the White House briefings. It was Fauci and Trump and Dr. Burke. And remember, you're talking about a guy that didn't know the difference between CNN and Fox, between Democrats and Republicans, between what the House is, how it works, nothing. Congress, nothing, nothing. All big mystery to me. Uh, uh, Ignorantly bliss.
Right.
And it was great. But then I started looking because I was watching, trying to figure out what to do, and I would see Trump speak, and then I would go to other news stations, and I'd see like they would take something he said or Fauci or something, and I said, "Oh no, 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 they made a mistake. That's not what that's not what he was saying." Now, not that support. I support any politician that has good intentions, whatever that is. And I don't know. I'm not a political person, really. So then I started to become fascinated with the press because the news is different than like the kind of press I do. I'm everything I do is like creative, fun, guitar loving, kind of people. And politics is something very different. So I started watching the news that reported on politics, and it really dawned on me that uh, people are in great fear, and they have lost touch. Not they, but this ideology of politics just kind of lost touch on what I learned to believe government should be doing. You
Yes.
know, really, really outlandish. So, but the important thing is, uh, have you taken your power back from it? Of course, it's not pleasant when you have to pay taxes and do all this kind of thing, but how much does it steal your sense of well-being? Or let me put it another way. How much do you allow it to steal your
Allow it.
sense of well-being? Because you're the only one that's allowing it.
Wow. No, for sure. I think that's very meaningful for people as well. Just keeping the humanity and staying focused on your own circle is, especially in today's time, I think the most important thing that a person could do.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an individual kind of a choice, and it requires you to transcend the peanut gallery, meaning the outside world. In a sense, you have to forgive all that. You have to forgive other people's fears, but you can only do that when you recognize them in yourself and you forgive yourself for having them first. That's the
Right. It's the
that's the
ongoing
kicker.
process.
Yeah.
That's the
And that,
kicker, right?
yeah, that's the kicker. You have to recognize it in yourself first. And that's what they mean when they say you have to forgive yourself. Because I used to hear that and I'm like, what does that mean? Forgive myself for what? What I do? Like, but what you're doing is you're forgiving yourself your own illusions, your own, the meaning that you've given things, the perspective you have on a subject or a past event. This happened to me when I was young, so that means I am this.
Exactly.
This is these are illusions in your own mind. It doesn't say, well, that didn't happen, but creating a story about it and then an identity that you carry through life that affects the quality of your whole life. That is a form of unconsciousness, but it has its place because eventually the suffering becomes so great, you start to yearn for your independence from it. And you already have that too. That's already there. There is a space in your mind that is unaffected by the insanity of the world. And
You have to
once you,
zero in on that.
yeah, but you have to recognize your own commentary, the own meaning that you've given, your meaning, the meaning that you have given things. It's important to know you gave them for yourself only, not for anybody else that was ever born or ever will be born or is alive. Your perspective on the world is based on all the unique experiences you've had through life that you've used to form your opinions, your beliefs, and the identity that you created for yourself and others. So this is something that we don't recognize we're doing.